Hi Patriots, hope you're all doing well, because for the past 2 to 3 weeks, I have not. I got sick real bad with a certain virus originating from China, and I'm just now starting to get over it. My voice is now back, my cough has drastically gone down, and I can finally breathe through my nose again. Thank God. Before I got sick, I had 2 videos I was working on. This one in my Path of Exile 2 video, which I'm still making. But now I am finally able to get back into making this video, and in this video I want to talk about the new Turok game that was announced at the Game Awards, and I just want to talk about the direction video game is going down. So, no more yapping, and let's talk about it. You know, every Turok video I've ever made, there has been something that I always say in them. And that has been, let's talk about this one more time, but hopefully not for the last. Well, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, I have amazing news to share with you. Although I'm sure most of you who are watching right now already know this, but before I say anything, I want to tell you my perspective when I learned that this game was announced. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot that the Game Awards were even going on. With me being sick, relatively staying off YouTube and Twitch, and just living in my own solitude for once, I was completely unaware that the Video Game Awards were going on or about to happen soon. On the night of the Gaming Awards, me and my friend had just gone on a long binge of playing SPT, or Single Player Tuck-Off for those of you who may not know. And well, after the Game Awards had ended, I went on YouTube and saw that they had a Witcher 4 announcement trailer. I told my friend about it, and since we both really love The Witcher, he started up a watch together and we watched the Witcher 4 trailer. Which, by the way, I personally don't really hate Ciri's design in the trailer. I've been seeing a lot of the anti-woke, anti-DEI content creators out there shitting on it, saying they gave her the ugly stick and all that stuff. And if that's genuinely what they think, then that's their opinion. But I just personally don't have an issue with Ciri's design. It's just a pre-rendered cutscene, and I'm sure in-game she will look a bit different like how Geralt did, but that's a different conversation for a different video. We watched through the trailer, and my friend says, "You are not going to believe this, but I know you're going to be as hyped as I am." And I remember exactly how I felt at that moment. I was feeling like shit, I felt tired and had really bad cold chills from the China virus, and when my friend started up that trailer and I saw the title Turok Origins, I lost my mind and I completely forgot I was sick for that 1-minute trailer. Now that I'm starting to feel better, I want to talk about it and give my thoughts for a few reasons. Number one being that Turok is almost the genetic roots of my channel. Not too long after uploading my first video, I made a video about 2 to 3 years back called "This Series Needs a Comeback," and in that video I talked about why I think a new modern Turok needs to be made. And then secondly, I've seen some people not very happy with the new trailer, and I want to come in and give you guys my thoughts on why I am personally positively skeptical of the new Turok game, and hopefully convince you guys to be positively skeptical also. I'm sure there will be a lot of you that might disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. I am just trying to be the rational voice amidst all the chaos. And just know that I come with absolute love for the series and only want this game to be everything that not only us, the fans, have been wanting, but also for the non-fans to find a game that they also enjoy and can appreciate. Just to give you all a heads up, I am not here to overanalyze a trailer and attempt to break down everything I can to speculate on what kind of game we might get. I find it to be a waste of time and energy because as of right now, all we got is a trailer and a Steam description of what the game might be. So instead of doing that, I'm going to be giving my thoughts. So here we go. A few of the complaints I've been seeing from people are things like, "Man, nothing kills my hype more than seeing the shot of 2 other characters coming into frame and then changing into customizable skins, implying this is some multiplayer slop." Or another one, "I've never been so hyped to then be let down so quickly," implying the disappointment because this new Turok game is a third-person shooter rather than the traditional FPS. Now, I want to make something clear. I am not trying to downplay or invalidate anyone's criticism or disappointment over the fact that the game is not meeting their expectations. Whether you've been a fan of this series for the past 30 years or 3 years, your voice matters as much as mine and the next person over. But all I ask is that you hear me out. This franchise has been dormant for 16 years up until now, and many of you have no idea how lucky we are that a developer, let alone a company like Saber Interactive, took the torch to bring in the next generation of Turok. Now, I'm not saying that we just need to be grateful and shut up and take what we get, but what I am saying is that we wait until we see more before we can then complain. From what I've seen, it looks like this new Turok game is a complete reboot yet again, and before you ask why they aren't working on the universe Iguana originally made, I think I have a reason why. The Turok universe Iguana made pretty much came to its end. Turok Evolution was the prequel to the games that came out in the 90s, though while Evolution was not the greatest, it's still there and serves its purpose. Then the first Turok game is the journey of Tulsa and his fight against the Campaigner. Then in Turok 2 we continue with his son Joshua. Then in 3 we continue on with either Danielle or Joseph and defeated the main source of evil within the universe, Oblivion. So the story and universe that Iguana made kind of had its wrap up. But the one unique trait that Turok has as a series is that there really is no one Turok universe, unless you just strictly want to count the original comic as the only canon universe. But since Turok doesn't really work that way, any Turok universe is technically canon. So Saber Interactive possibly making a new Turok universe might not be a bad thing. And I'm going to take a guess that the Turok Origins is the beginning of a new Turok universe. And again, just hear me out, I have full faith that Saber Interactive will treat the Turok universe right. Before Space Marine 2 came out, I had a relatively neutral take on Saber. But after playing through Space Marine 2, and comments made a few months ago from the CEO, Saber Interactive has earned my trust in handling the Turok universe. If the same amount of care and attention is put into this new Turok game, then I think us Turok fans can end up having our own version of Space Marine 2 that introduces people not familiar to the series and lead them down that rabbit hole of becoming a bigger fan. And since Saber has perfected the third-person 3-player co-op shooter prototype, I have absolute trust that the gameplay will be fun. But of course, I know not everyone is going to agree with me, and again, that's okay. All I ask from one fan to another is that all you do is wait until we get to see some more gameplay. Then, once we get to see some gameplay and get a better idea how the game is going to look and play, then we can complain if the game isn't to our liking. Saber Interactive has earned my trust, and it's totally fine if they haven't earned yours, but these are the best devs we got. Before I end this video, I want to say something real quick that's not related to the Turok trailer. I want to talk about just video games as a whole. The past 2 years, from 2022 to 2024, and just now entering 2025, have been some of the greatest years we've seen in gaming in over a decade. Sure, there have been maybe a game or two that's been really good that has come out, but at least from 2022, 2023, and in 2024, have been some of the greatest games we've ever seen. Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, and while I have not played Astro Bot simply because I don't have a PlayStation, I have no doubt that Astro Bot was an amazing game. And even if you're somewhat disappointed or underwhelmed with Astro Bot winning, there's still no shortage of amazing games. And there's still more other than just the Gotties. One of my most favorite indie games ever released, called Halls of Torment, which I made a video on, is not only just a fantastic game to play, but is quite honestly one of the best games of its genre. Space Marine 2, as I was mentioning earlier in the video, is a fantastic rendition of the Warhammer 40k universe with fun and immersive gameplay, and ultimately was just a video game that brought you back to the era of 360 video games where games were just meant to be fun. And man, how can you forget Lethal Company? This game literally brought my whole friend group together and made so many memories. Then you got Helldivers 2, a game that changed the landscape and how live service games should be done. And while the heroic status didn't last long with Arrowhead with the PlayStation account situation and the massive nerfing they did early on in the game cycle, the game still broke records and brought gamers together in a way no game studio has ever done before. And one of my most recent favorite games to come out, though it be very janky, is Stalker 2. And for me personally, Stalker 2 was my game of the year. Again, while yes, Stalker 2 launched janky and unoptimized, it was one of the most immersive and atmospheric games I've ever played, and the zone has never been better. There's so many more anomalies to discover, more artifacts to collect, and an endless amount of bandits and mutants to be killed in the zone. And now at the end of the year we end off with Path of Exile 2, a game that despite being in early access has broken records and resparked interest in the ARPG genre, and quite honestly does the best job at a Diablo-like game, better than what Diablo can do. Which, by the way, after this video goes up, my next video will be a PoE 2 video. So subscribe if you're interested in that. So yeah, the past few years have been incredible, and to be honest, I think it's going to get better. While everyone else is shitting on Witcher 4, I personally am interested in what CDPR will do with that game. And of course, you all know I'm super excited about the new Turok game. And there's just so many more games coming out in the next few years that I just can't wait for. And I hope you all are too. For all of you gamers who have been burned out from gaming with all the failures and copy-paste live service games, there's at least something out there now waiting for you. And even if you're really picky and aren't somewhat interested in anything that's come out recently, then I'm sure something coming out soon will be the one game for you. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, make sure to subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I shall see you when the next video drops.